And amidst a raging debate over polarization and the RSS being put in the dock of allegedly perpetuating communal divide, RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat seems to have reset the agenda for the Karyakartas. In an extensive interview to Panchajanya and organizer, Bhagwat has said that Hindu society has been at war for over 1,000 years, and now the fight is against an enemy within, calling it a war to defend Hindu society, Hindu dharma and Hindu culture. He said that while it is natural for those at war to be aggressive, he insisted that forever being in war mode will do the society no good. In fact, he's also sought to assure all Muslims in India, insisting that there is no threat to Islam in the country. However, Muslims must let go of their claim to supremacy, he says.
हिंदुस्तान हिंदुस्तान बना रहे, सीधी बात है। इसमें जो आज हमारे भारत में मुसलमान हैं, उनको कोई नुकसान नहीं, वो है, वो रहना चाहते हैं, रहे, पूर्वजों के पास वापस आना चाहते हैं, आए, उनके मन पर है। हिंदुओं में ये आग्रह है नहीं, इस्लाम को कोई खतरा नहीं है। हाँ, हम बढ़े, हम एक समय राजा थे, हम फिर से राजा बनना, ये छोड़ना पड़ेगा। हम ही सही, बाकी सब गलत, ये छोड़ना पड़ेगा। हम अलग है, इसलिए हम अलग ही रहेंगे, हम सबके साथ मिलकर नहीं रह सकते, ये छोड़ना पड़ेगा। किसी को भी छोड़ना पड़ेगा। ऐसा सोचने वाला कोई हिंदू है, उसको भी छोड़ना पड़ेगा। कम्युनिस्ट है, उनको भी छोड़ना पड़ेगा।
And taking umbrage over the message to Muslims, opposition parties have alleged that, in fact, this statement of Bhagwat reeked of supremacism as he's trying to dictate terms to Muslims. The AIMIM chief Owaisi, in his tweet, went as far as to call it a hate speech.
कोई सुपीरियर होने का कहां क्लेम कर रहे हैं? हम तो बोल रहे हैं कि इक्वालिटी दो, हमारी इक्वल राइट्स को इक्वालिटी ऑफ सुप्रीमेसी समझ रहे हैं। असल सुप्रीमेसी तो आपकी है, आप समझ रहे हैं कि हिंदू राष्ट्र है।
आई डोंट नो व्हाट भगवत मीन्स, व्हाट इज मीन बाय सुप्रीमेसी। लॉ ऑफ द लैंड, रूल्स ऑफ द लैंड, एवरीबॉडी इज गोइंग टू फॉलो। इन इस्लाम देयर इज नथिंग लाइक सुप्रीमेसी।
देखिए, आप सुपरमेसी की बात कर रहे हैं, ये तो सुपरमेसी आप दिखा रहे हैं। आप एक तरफ सुपरमिशन की बात कर रहे हैं, दूसरी तरफ आप ही सुपरमिशन दिखा रहे हैं और दूसरे धर्म वालों को कह रहे हैं कि इस देश में कैसे रहना है, ऐसे नहीं ऐसे रहना है। मुझे लगता है कि आप पोलाइटली, लेकिन एक तरह से डिक्टेटरशिप दिखा रहे हैं।
मुसलमानों को, आदिवासियों को, पिछड़ों को डिक्टेट करने वाले आप होते कौन हैं?
And while different interpretations are being attributed to Bhagwat's message, Times Now spoke to one of the interviewers, the editor of organizer Praful Ketkar, to understand the context of the statements, and he asserts that the prescription to refrain from separatist sentiments wasn't restricted to a particular community.
Dr. Bhagwat is clearly saying that none of the communities in India, irrespective of ideological position, nobody should have this supremacist attitude. And he has categorically mentioned not just Muslims, but even Hindus and communists. And there is a reason for this. There is a reason because I had asked this question about this Hindu aggression and the allegation that Sangha had changed its strategy or positioning, and whether Sangha has softened its stand on Hindutva. And in response to this, he said at one point for mobilization, Jai Shri Ram was fine, but that is not going to solve our issues.
Let's take this across to our guest. Joining us with us is Professor Geeta Bhatt, who's an academician and political analyst. Tushar Gupta is the senior editor with Swarajya magazine. Also joining us is Advocate Ehtisham Hashmi, political analyst. Advocate Tala Rashidi is from the Rashtriya Ulema Council. Let me start with Advocate Ehtisham Hashmi. All that Mohan Bhagwat has said is that Muslims have nothing to fear in this country. It is the discrimination that they may be thinking about that in fact is being countered over here, says the BJP. You heard the reactions coming in. What would you say to that, Ehtisham Hashmi?
Thank you so much for inviting me to this debate. And as a lawyer, I just want to say that I want to teach Indian history and Constitution of India to Mohan Bhagwat. And I would like to quote Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said that this ideology that they want to convert India into a Hindu nation is against our principle. And I would like to quote from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar book that if Hindu Raj does become a fact, it will no doubt be the greatest calamity for this country. Hindu Raj must be prevented at any cost, unquote, by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And I would also like to quote Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru wrote a letter to RSS on 10th November 1948. And I would like to read just 3 lines because I know that this time is valuable of this debate.
Yeah.
It would appear that declared objectives have little to do with the real ones and with the activities carried on in various forms and ways by people associated with the RSS. These real objectives appears to be completely opposed to the decision of the Indian Parliament.
Let's come to the present. I'm seeing many heads shaking. So the point is, what has Mr. Mohan Bhagwat said? What has Mr. Mohan Bhagwat said that you are particularly objecting to over here is not yet clear. But quick response from Tushar Gupta. Yes, Tushar. If you can unmute yourself and continue, Tushar.
Pardon me, Madhav. Madhav, look, on your very channel and a lot of times on your very show, there have been a lot of self-proclaimed representatives of the minorities who want to portray this image that somehow the government of the day or the RSS is anti-minority. Now, what the RSS Supremo said was very simple, that no community should engage in rhetorical supremacy. Haven't we had statements from some minority leaders where they said remove the police for 15 minutes and we'll kill 1 crore Hindus, and they were acquitted for that? Haven't we had statements during CAA and NRC protests where some representatives came and say, oh, we ruled these lands for hundreds of years, we'll rule it again? This statement is not about all Muslims. This statement is not about all Hindus, but it's about those some self-proclaimed representatives who want to drive a wedge between the communities and who often engage in this rhetorical supremacy. And there are many of them, OAC brothers being one of them. So what is wrong about it? At the end of the day, what the RSS Supremo is saying is people are free to practice whatever religion they want. They're free to convert into any religion they want. The Constitution gives them that right. What he's against the idea of is any community imposing rhetorical supremacy over any other community. That's all.
Okay, Tala Rashidi, we know the 20 crore, 100 crore pe bhari kind of comments, and those are the kind of comments that Tushar Gupta says the RSS chief was referring to. He's only referring to those elements who may, in their zeal or zest or whatever it is, or in their minds may genuinely believe it, we don't know, but end up making such statements which do sound discriminatory or coming from some kind of a superiority or a feeling of superiority. That's the word coming in from Tushar Gupta. Please respond to him, Advocate Tala Rashidi.
Madhavan, the question here is that who is Mr. Mohan Bhagwat
to say this? Isn't this, by saying these words, isn't he himself showcasing a attitude of supremacy, that he is superior? That is the reason why he is trying to ensure or trying to give the permission or trying to impose conditions on the Muslims, 25 crores of Muslims of this country. Who is Mr. Mohan Bhagwat? That is the question. Why should we seek permission from him, or why should he give us the permission or the assurity? What's his constitutional designation or value? Now, we, the Muslims of this country, are Muslims by choice. Our forefathers fought the freedom struggle. They fought for the freedom of this land. What was the role of RSS in the freedom struggle? When our forefathers were fighting for the freedom of this country, RSS was aligned with the Britishers. Now, someone who has such a history, someone is coming and saying that they will allow us to live in this country. The question is there. Why we Indians are living in this country as per the constitution of the country. We are not going to live or abide by the constitution.
But hasn't he also said that there is no threat to Muslims? Hasn't he said exactly that there is no threat to Muslims in India?
Madhav, I want to respond to that.
That the threat is the threat to Muslims is coming from RSS. Is that what this is the reason why he has to come and assure us that there is no threat as such to the Muslims of India? So that means that there is a threat to the Muslims of India from RSS or people.
He's saying there is no threat and you're saying there is a threat.
Why has he had to come out with such a statement?
Okay.
That means there is a threat. There is a hidden threat or there is a direct threat from
Okay, Tushar wants to respond to you and then I go across to Professor Geeta Bhatt. Yes, quick response, Tushar.
This is the problem of incomplete comprehension. Aren't there elements in Kashmir who engage in fanaticism and terrorism and push out Hindus or rather murder Hindus and then say this is the law, this is the land for Muslims and not for Hindus? Did we not see that during the Kashmiri Pandit genocide of the 90s? What happened during CAA? Why are we forgetting that there were some people, some self-proclaimed representatives who were trying to hint that hum kagaz nahi dikhayenge. Hold on, sir. Hold on.
Who are these people? When
There
are you
was
going to
some
talk about them?
representatives who said kagaz nahi dikhayenge.
Tired of
If you are
this
to follow the law of the
Kashmiri
land,
Pandit.
why would you engage in such a sloganeering?
Instead of making films on Kashmiri file, why don't you go ahead and do something for
he's not
Kashmiri
letting me
Pandit?
respond.
Why
Madhav.
don't you go ahead and hand?
You know,
those
Mr.
people
Rashadi, let's go turn by turn. There are a number of points that are being made by both sides. Let's have a calm debate. Let me bring in Professor Geeta Bhatt. Professor Geeta Bhatt, there are several questions. Asuddin Owaisi comes out and says that this is like a hate speech that has been made by Mohan Bhagwat, and the arguments that are being made are similar to what Mr. Rashadi and earlier, of course, what we heard from Ehtisham Hashmi saying that this is itself, some kind of a threat being given or a statement being given, because this statement, they allege, is smacks of some kind of supremacy coming in from the RSS itself. Please respond, Geeta Bhatt.
Exactly.
Well, you see, first point is that in this country, everybody as a democracy has a right to express themselves, to give their opinion. And the question is being raised that why Mohan Bhagwat ji, why is he has come out with with an opinion which he has expressed. Now the first point is, so what he has said is something which has been taken out of context, because I think most of the people have just added into two, not two but three, just based on religion. So therefore, in this context, it is important that those who are raising the fear of minority and the kind of narrative that is built across the globe, that India is not safe for Muslims. It is in this context that Mohan Bhagwat ji was trying to portray, reflect on this point.
Okay.
Please, and also I would like to, because someone was quoting Ambedkar in this program, please do read Mr. Ambedkar's Pakistan of the Partition of India, where what he talks about Muslims in politics, that they practice gangster methods in politics. This is what Mr. Ambedkar has said, and it is very much evident from the riots that are taking place.
Okay. One at a time. Once, Mr. Hashmi, please calm down. You can respond in a civilized way. There are comments that Ambedkar has made. The problem today, Mr. Hashmi, is that people read Mr. Ambedkar selectively according to what suits them, because Mr. Ambedkar has actually made comments which perhaps every political ideology would like to cherry pick and use as to what suits their particular stance. But let's also come out and explain, Mr. Hashmi, the fact that
RSS is against
one second,
Constitution of India,
Mr. Hashmi,
against democratic setup.
Mr. Hashmi, please calm down. Please allow me to conduct the debate. We have limited time over here on this debate. Let's not get into a shouting match. All right. A simple point that is being made over here by Geeta Bhatt is that the message coming in from the RSS chief was for peace. It is not something that he is saying that there should be conflict. He's saying that there is no threat, that this perception that is being internationally put out is something that is wrong, that Muslims are unsafe in India. It's those perceptions that he was trying to counter with the statements that he has made. Please respond to that specific point.
RSS is cutting community of Muslim-dominated Muslim community into pieces, and he's talking about peace. Have you read the literature provided by RSS? RSS officials are involved in lynching and anti-national activities. There is a dedicated group who is conducting...
Sir, on what basis are you making these comments, Mr. Hashmi? This is a problem. Sir, we have to be little responsible as spokespersons. One can have one's own perceptions, but when we make such drastic comments, what is the basis on which we make these comments? Let's be clear on that. At least. We'll have to leave it there for the moment. In fact, I had several other points I wanted to discuss, but we'll have to leave it there. Professor Geeta Bhatt, Tushar Gupta, Advocate Ehtisham Hashmi, Advocate Tala Rashidi, we'll have to leave it there for the moment. Thank you so much for joining us.